I'm sorry, उनको shut out हो गया. Okay, so we are live. Hi everybody, this is me Mannu Yadav, Secretary Sundarban's house. So we are, I guess, on day 5 or 4. I'm sorry.
Day 4, day 4.
Day 4.
Okay, nice. So आपको पता है, ठीक है. So finally, आप सबका we all welcome you all, right? The hosting team welcomes you all in this session, and thanks for constant student of this series. And trust me, if you're doing this right, आप बहुत कुछ सीखने वाले हो for sure. ठीक है, अगर जितने लोग अभी तक है ना, 4 days बहुत होते हैं, ठीक है. अगर आप ये चीज कर रहे हो, ठीक है, for sure you're going to score a lot, right? एक अगर आप हल्का सा आपने सोचा भी है ना कि हाँ ये करना है, ठीक है, this is the 4th day or 5th day, right? You're constantly coming this meet. So this is what clearly says that you're serious about OPP, you're serious about Python, and you're serious about your future, right? So best wishes to you again. Right? And you're going to score 100 out of 100 for sure, take care. And at the same time, this interest in Python will be useful uh, when you will be studying PDSA, Python in DSA, right? And DSA in Python actually. And then when you will learn ML concepts and all, right, in future, then ये help करने ही वाला है, ठीक है. तो इसमें इंटरेस्ट बना के रखना. I hope that you are loving these sessions. Can we have some reactions from your end, just to see that you're alive? Nice. Okay, great. Fine. So let's have some hand raised uh, if you are from diploma level or you are not from foundation level. Anyone of us? Okay, so I'm not from foundation actually, so I'll raise my hand. Okay. Fine. So yeah, great, yeah. Great. है ना? Great to see your interest, right, in Python. So just to mention again, we'll do complete OPP stuffs and all, and at the same time, we'll let you know, let you know and learn more than OPs only, right? बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, ठीक है. You will love it. You will thank yourself that why you joined this, or why you stayed in this boot camp, ठीक है, आप क्यों रहे इसमें. So मजा आने वाला है for sure. And at the end we'll have a farewell kind of thing as well. ठीक है. And future में आप अगर अभी Python कर रहे हो, कल को Java करोगे तो भी शायद ऐसा कुछ हम रखें, ठीक है. चलो, so let's start the session, right? Are we ready to start? Can we have a laughing emoji? थोड़ा सा हंसना सेहत के लिए अच्छा होता है.
Guys,
I
an important announcement to all of
okay.
you. For all the persons who
सबका
didn't
आना चाहिए
join
laughing
with
emoji.
their
मैं देख रहा हूँ यहाँ से, मुझे दिख रहा है. ठीक है, हंसना चाहिए यार, है ना? We should laugh.
Sir, mic off.
Right. है ना? हाँ, चलो.
क्या हुआ?
So, guys, to every person who didn't join with their
ओए, all में मेरे
IITM
को म्यूट कर
email
दिया
ID,
आपने अभी.
please rejoin via your
चलो.
IITM ID, because
One of our hosts
without
just what
IITM
they
ID,
did, he muted everyone. And ओए, गलत बात है यार. चलो देवन, let's start.
All right. Okay then. Just a minute. All right. So yesterday we did not go with exception handling. That is fine. I'll cover it in last 10-15 minutes of today's session. So for now, we'll do the same concept. We'll use for loops, conditional statements, while loops, but we'll get to know more that how do we implement some stuff. So first, let's try implementing factorial factors. So how many of you know factorial? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Factorial. So factorial is repeated multiplication. For example, if I talk about n factorial, then that is n is an integer and it is equivalent to n into n minus 1 and so on up till 1, right? So you multiply these numbers. So this is your factorial. And let's write a program to write this factorial or calculate it just by giving it a number. Yeah, sure, I'll zoom in. Is this better? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Or should I zoom in more? All right. So let's write a function. So let's say I define a function named factorial and I give it a parameter n, and I say that this n has data type integer. This is not required, but it is good practice to write this. And you know that factorial's output will also be an integer, correct? So this particular function which you have, that will return the data type of integer, right? वो डेटा टाइप इंटीजर रिटर्न करेगा, तो वो भी लिख देते हैं. वो कैसे लिखेंगे? हम एक एरो दे दिया और लिखा कि इंटीजर होगा उसका डेटा टाइप, कोलन किया और नेक्स्ट लाइन पे इंडेंटेशन के साथ हम फंक्शन का प्रोसेस लिखना चालू करेंगे. ऑलराइट, सो स्टार्ट राइटिंग द फंक्शन. So let's say you want to calculate. So first thing what you can do is you can iterate through for loop. So let's say you have the product. Let's say that's a variable which is initially let's say 1, and I use for loop to iterate to for I in range of 1 to n plus 1. Again, this concept was discussed yesterday also, that why am I taking 1 to n plus 1? So factorial is product. So if I start without that 1 here, this I will start with 0, and if I start multiplying with 0, the whole product will be 0. Hence you have to start with 1 and you will go up till n plus 1. Why n plus 1? This last number is not included. So I will take all the values 1, 2, 3 and up till n, but not n plus 1. Hence we are calculating n factorial, so we need to go up till n plus 1. And one of you is asking, is it important to write int? No, again, repeating this part is not important, this colon and int, but it is suggested that you maintain the data types of the variables, the input and the output majorly. So this is your output data type and this is your input data type. This is not required. You can also write this in this manner. Let's say you write define factorial n and that's it. But here now you are not sure that what would the data type of your input be. इधर आपको पता नहीं है आपका इनपुट का डेटा टाइप क्या होगा और आउटपुट का डेटा टाइप क्या होगा. अगर आप गलती से फैक्टोरियल में एक स्ट्रिंग वाला नंबर दे दिए तो दैट विल थ्रो एरर. इसलिए ये करना ज्यादा बेहतर है. इससे आपको भी एक आइडिया मिलेगा कि आप फंक्शन किसके लिए लिख रहे हो, तो इससे आप एक मोटिव सेट कर देते हो. ठीक है, ये यूज ऑफ एरो वही है कि जैसे हम मैथ्स में बोलते हैं ना ए टू बी, कोई भी फंक्शन के लिए जिधर एक डोमेन होता है, को डोमेन होता है. अगर नहीं पता है तो जाने दो, बट इट इज दैट इनपुट टू आउटपुट. सो इनपुट डेटा टाइप टू आउटपुट डेटा टाइप. तो अब हम फॉर लूप के अंदर लॉजिक लिखते हैं. तो हमें क्या करना है, देखो इधर एआई ने ऑलरेडी सजेस्ट कर दिया क्योंकि मैंने जेमिनी ऑन करके रखा है. तो क्या कर रहे हैं हम, इधर प्रोडक्ट मल्टीप्लाइड बाय द आई वैल्यू. सो इधर हम ये टैब कर देता हूं. इसको हम ऐसे भी लिख सकते थे, प्रोडक्ट इज इक्वल्स टू प्रोडक्ट इनटू आई, बट हमने ऐसे क्यों लिखा, बिकॉज दिस इज मोर एफिशिएंट. तो ऐसे ही हमारे प्लस इक्वल्स ऑपरेटर भी होते हैं और माइनस इक्वल्स ऑपरेटर भी होते हैं. ठीक है, तो वो भी वैसे ही काम करते हैं. ये हमने कल के सेशन में डिस्कस भी किया था. वी डिड डिस्कस दिस इन यस्टरडेज सेशन. And then you return the product and you are done with your factorial function. So this is one way. प्रोग्रामिंग में हम दो स्टाइल में लिखते हैं, एक होता है इम्पेरेटिव स्टाइल और एक होता है डिक्लेरेटिव स्टाइल. अभी मैं बताऊंगा कि दोनों में फर्क क्या है, बट उससे पहले everyone clear with this particular part? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Any doubts? अगेन रेंज कल भी डिस्कस किया था, आज भी डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ. Q1 to n plus 1, क्योंकि अगर हम 1 नहीं देते हैं तो वो 0 से स्टार्ट होगा. 0 से आप कुछ भी नंबर मल्टीप्लाई करो तो वो 0 ही हो जाएगा. और n तो आपका इनपुट है. तो आपको जैसे कि आप 5 इनपुट देते हो तो आपको 5 फैक्टोरियल काउंट करना है, तो आपको 5 तक मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा। तो अगर आप इधर डायरेक्टली 5 लिखते हो तो वो नहीं चलेगा, क्योंकि वो 1 2 3 4 तक रहेगा, 5 नहीं काउंट होगा। तो आपको 5 + 1 तक ले जाना है रेंज को। कौन सा सेकेंड लाइन? ये वाला सेकेंड लाइन आप बोल रहे हो, दिस वन। ये मैंने 2 बार बताया ना कि देखिए ये इनपुट है आपका, इसको ये आप सेकेंड लाइन को ऐसे भी लिख सकते हो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, बट दिस इज मोर बेटर वे, वैसे चीज बोल रहा हूँ। अभी अगर आपको ये समझ में नहीं आता है, इट्स ओके, यू कैन गो विद दिस लाइन। ओके, क्लियर? DEF इज नॉट अल्टरनेटिव वे ऑफ टेकिंग इनपुट। आप रिकॉर्डिंग्स देखिए, उसमें मैंने बताया DEF इज डिफाइन, हम एक फंक्शन को डिफाइन कर रहे हैं, राइट? तो DEF कोई दूसरा वे नहीं है इनपुट लेने के लिए, इट्स अ फंक्शन जो आप रिपीटेटिव वे में यूज कर सकते हो, ठीक है? सो नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू, दिस इज वन ऑफ द वेज। अगर मैं इसको रन करता हूँ, CPU कनेक्ट हो रहा है, लेट्स वेट फॉर फ्यू सेकेंड्स। तो 5 फैक्टोरियल का आंसर 120 होना चाहिए। सो 120 इज योर आंसर। सो दिस इज वन वे कि आप फैक्टोरियल को कैलकुलेट करें। अगर आपको ये समझ में नहीं आता, इट्स ओके, इस पे आप फोकस कीजिए, ठीक है? नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू अनदर स्टाइल ऑफ राइटिंग सेम फंक्शन, डिफाइन फैक्टोरियल इस बार भी मैं डेटा टाइप इनपुट का और डेटा टाइप आउटपुट का मेंशन करूंगा, दिस इज अ गुड प्रैक्टिस। और अंदर मैं लिखूंगा इफ n इक्वल टू 0 या फिर इक्वल टू 1, रिटर्न 1, else रिटर्न फैक्टोरियल n-1, ठीक है? अब इम्पेरेटिव और डिक्लेरेटिव स्टाइल पे आते हैं। तो इम्पेरेटिव उसको बोलते हैं जिसमें हम जो रिजल्ट होता है, अभी हमारा रिजल्ट क्या है कि फैक्टोरियल ढूंढना है, तो फैक्टोरियल ढूंढने के लिए हम स्टेप बाय स्टेप इंस्ट्रक्शन लिखेंगे, तो वो हो गया, ये है इम्पेरेटिव स्टाइल। तो मैं ये फंक्शन को लिख दूंगा फैक्टोरियल इम्पेरेटिव स्टाइल, तो ये है इम्पेरेटिव स्टाइल। सिमिलरली ये हो जाएगा डिक्लेरेटिव स्टाइल। तो या तो ये हो गया डिक्लेरेटिव। सो बोथ आर द वेज, एक है इम्पेरेटिव, एक है डिक्लेरेटिव। वापस रिपीट करता हूँ, इम्पेरेटिव कब कहते हैं? जब हम फंक्शन जो रिजल्ट है उसको निकालने के लिए वी डिफाइन एवरी स्टेप। इधर हमने हर एक स्टेप को डिफाइन किया है, राइट? हमने हर एक स्टेप को लिखा है और स्टेप बाय स्टेप हम कैलकुलेट कर देंगे रिजल्ट। बट डिक्लेरेटिव कब हो गया कि हमने रिजल्ट को ही वापस यूज किया है। हाँ, एक तरीके से रिकर्सिव, इसका दूसरा वर्ड है रिकर्सिव फंक्शंस। तो इसमें क्या हो रहा है कि हम रिपीट कर रहे हैं, और इधर एक गलती है, क्या है कि हम फैक्टोरियल को कॉल कर रहे हैं, हमें यही फंक्शन को कॉल करना है, तो हमें ये अंडरस्कोर DEC भी लिखना पड़ेगा, सेम नेम, राइट? तब सोचिए इधर क्या हो रहा है। लेट्स से, हाँ सर, हाँ कार्तिक सर, रुकिए, हाँ सर।
या सर, एक छोटी सी अनाउंसमेंट करनी थी। सॉरी फॉर दैट, मिड में डिस्टर्ब कर रहा हूँ। गाइस, टुडे इज योर DPP 2 डे। फाइन, द DPP link will be shared at 8:30. द क्वेश्चंस आर वेल प्रिपेयर्ड, जो कि सर ने कल जो भी पढ़ाया था, जितने कॉन्सेप्ट्स कल पढ़ाए थे, ऑल द क्वेश्चंस आर फ्रॉम देयर। मेक श्योर करेंगे सभी कि यू शुड बी गोइंग देयर, सब चीज अच्छे से देखना है, ठीक है? ये सर को भी नहीं पता है कि क्वेश्चंस क्या रखे हैं दिस टाइम। फाइन, तो एवरीवन, आई वुड बी रिक्वेस्टिंग, क्वेश्चंस पढ़ना है, उसके बाद ही आंसर करना। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
थैंक यू सर। तो अब हम इधर एक ड्राई रन परफॉर्म करते हैं। ड्राई रन मतलब कि हम सोचेंगे कि कोड कैसे फ्लो में, कौन से फ्लो में काम करेगा, ठीक है। तो वो एक बार कर लेते हैं। तो लेट्स से 5 फैक्टोरियल। सो सबसे पहले ये 5 गया, अब उसने देखा कि 5 1 तो है नहीं, तो वो एल्स में गया। एल्स में उसने रिटर्न किया फैक्टोरियल n-1, तो वो फैक्टोरियल 4 रिटर्न करेगा, करेक्ट। अब फैक्टोरियल 5 हमने डाला, फैक्टोरियल 4 रिटर्न कर रहा है। अब फैक्टोरियल 4 में वो वापस यही फंक्शन को कॉल करेगा, वापस 4 इक्वल टू 1 नहीं है, तो वापस वो इधर जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा 3 फैक्टोरियल। वैसे ही वापस 2 फैक्टोरियल, और जब वो 1 होगा तब n इक्वल इक्वल टू 1 आ जाएगा और रिटर्न 1 कर देगा, एंड डायरेक्टली यू विल गेट द आंसर 1 फॉर 5 फैक्टोरियल आल्सो, क्योंकि हमने इधर डिफाइन नहीं किया एग्जैक्टली कि हम क्या रिटर्न कर रहे हैं। हम फैक्टोरियल n-1 ही डायरेक्टली रिटर्न कर रहे हैं, तो हम इधर कोई भी n डाल दे वो इवेंचुअली रिटर्न 1 ही करेगा। तो इधर हमें एक मॉडिफिकेशन करना है, जो है हम एक्चुअल में क्या रिजल्ट है हमारा, वो है ये। तो ये हो गया n और ये हो गया n-1 का फैक्टोरियल, तो वो इधर हम n से मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे। सो हियर n इनटू फैक्टोरियल n-1, ठीक है। सो इधर ये एक तरीके से ये हो गया कि हम जो बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स है, जैसे कि 0 1 2, वो पहले डिफाइन कर देते हैं, उसका एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू रिटर्न करते हैं, और रिकर्सिवली पैटर्न ढूंढ के हम पैटर्न को ही रिपीट करके वही फंक्शन को वापस कॉल करके बुलाते हैं। तो ये हो गया डिक्लेरेटिव स्टाइल और ये हो गया इम्पेरेटिव स्टाइल। अब हम दोनों एक बार रन करके देखते हैं। पहले फंक्शन डिफाइन कर लेते हैं और फिर दोनों को नेक्स्ट लाइन में प्रिंट करेंगे। तो प्रिंट फैक्टोरियल डिक्लेरेटिव ऑफ 5 और फैक्टोरियल इम्पेरेटिव ऑफ 5, तो दोनों काम करने चाहिए और दोनों 120 रिटर्न करने चाहिए। देखते हैं एक बार। सो यू कैन सी हियर कि 120 रिटर्न कर रहा है। तो ये दो तरीके हो गए, आपको समझ में आया? ऑल गुड नाउ? एनी डाउट्स? हाउ विल इट हैंडल 0? करेक्ट। अब हैंडल्स, हमें एक चीज पता है, 0 फैक्टोरियल किस किस को पता है? 0 फैक्टोरियल का क्या होता है आंसर चैट बॉक्स में? 0 फैक्टोरियल 1, करेक्ट। तो अब हमें ये पता है कि 0 फैक्टोरियल 1 ही है। सो व्हाट वी कैन डू इज वी कैन, instead of taking n equal to 1, what we can do is we can write it as 0 and we can return 1. All right. इसमें आंसर 0 नहीं आएगा, क्योंकि क्या हो रहा है कि लास्ट में जब फाइनली फैक्टोरियल 0 आएगा वो रिटर्न 1 कर देगा और 1 इंटू 2 इंटू अप टिल n जाएगा। तो वो हमने 0 हैंडल कर लिया इधर। नाउ हाउ विल वी हैंडल इट हियर? सो हियर देयर इज वन वे कि आप डायरेक्टली इधर लिख दो कि इफ, हाँ इधर इसने सजेस्ट कर ही दिया कि इफ n इक्वल टू 0 रिटर्न 1, ये एक वे है। तो इंपेरेटिव स्टाइल में आपको ऐसे करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर आप इधर डायरेक्टली प्रोडक्ट 0 लेते हो तो इट डजंट, लाइक यू कांट डू इट। आपको अलग से चेक करना पड़ेगा कि इफ n इज इक्वल टू 0 देन रिटर्न 1। सो अगर अब हम इसको रन करते हैं तो फंक्शंस मॉडिफाई हो गए और इधर हम 0 एक बार ट्राई करते हैं दोनों के लिए। सो 1 आ गया, ठीक है। सो नाउ इट इज एबल टू हैंडल 0 केस ऑल्सो। अब हम गामा फंक्शन पे नहीं जाएंगे, ठीक है, तो हम इंटीजर्स तक सीमित रखेंगे। तो ये हो गया फैक्टोरियल। अब हम नेक्स्ट जो पढ़ेंगे, लेट्स से हम ट्राई करते हैं पैटर्न प्रिंटिंग, ठीक है। तो ये हो गया फैक्टोरियल, इसको ऐसे के ऐसे रहने देते हैं और अब हम डिफाइन करते हैं एक पैटर्न प्रिंटिंग का फंक्शन। कोई भी नाम आप लोग सजेस्ट करोगे, कोई भी पैटर्न, any pattern or name that you would like to suggest? ABC, right triangle, okay. चलो तो let's try triangle first. तो ट्रायंगल, अब इसके पैरामीटर्स क्या हो सकते हैं? व्हाट आर द पैरामीटर्स दैट वी हैव टू गिव इट? इट कैन बी नंबर ऑफ रोज, दैट इज हाइट ऑफ द ट्रायंगल, राइट? Or else it could be any other parameter also. What could it be? String parameter for what? Like it's triangle and we want to print it. So what we can do, we can take two parameters. Let's take n, which is height, so that is integer, and let's take c, which is string, and the output will be string because you are going to print that pattern. आप वो पैटर्न प्रिंट करोगे तो वो भी एक स्ट्रिंग ही होगी, ठीक है? अब मैंने इधर दो इनपुट्स क्यों लिए? तो समझ लीजिए आपके पास कोई ट्रायंगल है जिसमें आपका 3 रोज है, तो वो हो गया 1, फिर 2 और फिर 3। तो ये एक सॉल्यूशन हो गया। बट अब मुझे स्पेसिफिकली ये जो प्लेसेस पे मैं स्ट्रिंग यूज करूंगा वो मेरा ही कैरेक्टर होगा जो मैं दूंगा उसको। So it could be a asterisk, it could be a hyphen, it could be any other character. ठीक है? So now let's write that function. So for I in range of n, again n plus 1 तक ले जाएंगे, 1 से ही चालू करेंगे क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस जो हम आज डिस्कस कर रहे हैं उसमें 1 से ही चालू करना है। अगर 1 से नहीं चालू करना है देन यू कैन ट्राई दिस आल्सो कि आपने n तक रखा and you know that I will take values from 0 to n minus 1. Remember, I will take values from 0 to n minus 1. So what you can do is you can print f string यूज किया, हमने कैरेक्टर लिया और कैरेक्टर को हमने मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया I plus 1 टाइम्स। ठीक है? तो जब I 0 होगा तब एक बार कैरेक्टर प्रिंट होगा, जब I n minus 1 होगा तब n टाइम्स कैरेक्टर प्रिंट होगी। अब इधर कोई प्रॉब्लम लग रहा है क्या आपको? Any problem that you can find? Will it print a triangle? Will this function print a triangle? Yes or no? It won't print. What is missing here? What is missing? What will it print then? Okay, backslash n is missing. New line पे start होना चाहिए, right? It should start at new line. Okay. If I do not start at new line for now, if I give the input as 5 and asterisk, then what would be the output? It would be n into n minus 1 by 2. So 5 into 4 divided by 2. So that is 10. So you will have 10 asterisks. So once let's just do that. Print triangle of 5. So now here we have done a mistake. That is, we did not mention the string character. Okay. So let's mention the string character also. Let's say I take, so this is working. Why is it working? I'll come back to explaining the code again, but first of all, people who said that this will not print a triangle, why is it working? Any idea? Okay, think of it. जब आप Python में print function use करते हो, and if you use different prints, so this is your first print. तो first iteration में I 0 था, ये print हो गया. Up in next iteration, you are doing a different print. So by default, it will go to next line and print. So you do not specifically define backslash n क्योंकि ये अलग-अलग print functions हैं. Okay. And what is this none? ये none क्या है? ये none है कि मैंने ये triangle function इधर call किया. I have called this triangle function, and when the triangle function was running, it has printed the triangle perfectly fine. But when it comes to printing triangle of something, so it is printing the return value of this function. ये हमने पहले भी discuss किया था. So this function is returning nothing here, correct? It is returning nothing. So instead of using print, let's store this value in a particular string. So this is one way. So clear what is none and what is this triangle being printed here? Any doubts in that? Okay, and print of print will also not work. It will still be the same. Okay. So again, repeating the code explanation for a minute. You are trying to create and print a triangle where n is number of rows. So you can see what is the height of this triangle? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So n is your that parameter and c is your character parameter. It could be any string. It could be asterisk. It could be any symbol. So that is how you do it. And why is it printing on next line? Because these are different print functions. And finally, why is this printing none? Because you have not returned anything from this function. So it is not returning anything and hence none is printed. So now let's fix that. So instead of printing it directly like this, what I'll do is I'll take a string value, let's say a pattern. I say pattern equals empty string for now. And I say pattern plus equals f of, and I'll use this as it is. And wait, what I can do is let this be as it is. With return. Yep, this is better. So pattern is equals to empty string, and now I'll assign something to that pattern. So pattern plus equals, and I'll keep on adding to it. So f, and I'll take this in, and now I'll return pattern. Okay, so this is now returning pattern and it will not print anything. This will print and then return none because it is not returning anything. And instead of none, let's try something else. Let's say return successfully printed and a backslash n. Okay, no, slash n. Okay, right. And here, let it be as it is, and I print triangle with return and using the same character. Okay. And now let's run it. All right. Clear with this code? Any doubts here? Others also? Okay. So now let's run this code. And you can see successfully printed, and it is not understanding this slash n. Why is it that way? Any idea? You can write it in chat box. It will be backslash n. So while writing in OPP, we usually do these mistakes in the start. Okay, so be careful about it. And now you can see one thing. In this case, we are just adding it directly. So if you are adding it, it is just printing it side by side. But I don't want it side by side. So what I'll do is I'll use backslash n here. So it will print the next character set in a new line. So now let's run this again. So now it's perfectly fine. Clear with this, everyone? Any doubts here? Yes, correct. During concatenation, the new line character is not added and you have to specifically add it or any other character. But when we are not storing it in a variable and returning that variable, we are using directly print functions. And that, if you write a print function below this again, now between this print and this print, a new line character will be printed. So it will start in next line, and hence you will not specify the new line character here. Clear? So any doubts in these functions? Explain none again. Okay, look. First of all, here I am returning something now, right? And hence here it is printing that. So what this print function do is that whenever you write a function inside it, what does this function return? So currently it is returning the string, and hence it is printing that value. Okay, but now if I do not add any return function here, and now if I run it, it will print none. Why? Because I have not written anything from this function. You are not returning anything, right? You are just printing in that function. So it is printing in the output terminal, but it is not returning. And if you are not returning anything, then it has to print something, right? So it will print nothing. So none. Clear? All right. So this is about factorial and pattern printing. You can try with any other character also, let's say asterisk, and you can see it's working. But now let's say you type in 2 asterisks. So what will happen is it will print 2 asterisks here, 4 asterisks here, and so on. So something like this. Okay, all right. So what you can do, one more thing is you can add a conditional statement, and you can say if length of C is greater than 1, then return please enter a string of 1 character. And similarly, I'll copy paste this here. So here it is not working because I have given 2 characters. All right. And similarly, if you want to add this type of edge cases handling, then you can do that for factorial also. Now, for example, here, if I did use any negative number, it would not work, right? It would go into infinite loop, especially for this type of declarative functions. So writing declarative functions, you can recognize the pattern. It is easy to write. It is easy to understand. But if you are not handling it correctly, this will go on. So let's try that. So let's say I print factorial deck with the minus number, -1. So let's try that. Recursion error. So maximum recursion depth exceeded. So this is because of Google Colab, it's safe. But if you do it on your local computer, it may keep on running, and then you have to close the terminal, or you have to use Control-C or quit the program. But here they have handled it because there is some recursion limit. So recursion is that how many times it is calling the function itself. So here we did not handle any case. So if it is -1, it will keep on returning -1 into factorial of -2, -1 into factorial of -2, and in next case it would be -1 into -2 into factorial of -3. So it will keep on repeating. So it will keep on add the recursions. So here let's handle that case. Just add an if block. If n is less than 0, then please enter a positive integer, or else non-negative integer, because we are also including 0. All right, so this is one safe way to do it. Now think of it, what would happen if I use minus numbers in this case? So let's do that. So this is fine, and let's say I print -5 here. Okay, see, this is the code, and now think of it, what would be the output if I enter -5 as the value? Anyone? You can write down the answer in chat box. If I give the input -5 here, then what will be the output? What will it return? Infinite loop? No. Look, think of infinite loop. Here there is no recursion, so you won't have infinite loop. Here there is no while, so you won't have infinite loop. And for is also from a particular number to a particular number. So that will not cause infinite loop for sure. it will throw an error. What kind of error? What kind of error? Now just a minute. Let me show you the cheat sheet. So everyone able to see the cheat sheet, right? Okay, all right. So now let's go to the exception handling case and let's see types of errors. So these are some common types. There are other types of errors also, but these are some common type where you have syntax error, type error, name error. Okay. So depending on the type of error, you give your first word. Now think of it, coming back to this code, what type of error will it throw? Index error. Okay, let's check. Let's run this and then run this code. It is not throwing any error. It has just printed this, please enter a non-negative integer that is from this particular function, and it is printing 0 from this function. Now think of it, what is happening here? There is no error here. Okay, anyone who would like to explain this can raise your hands. Anyone? Okay, all right. That's fine. So let's do a dry run here. So -5, it goes into this line. It says -5 is not equal to 0. So false, it goes to next line, product equals 0. Then for I in range 1 to -4. So what does range 1 to -4 mean? 1 to -4, it will not go into this loop and it will just multiply 0 with it and it returns 0. That's it. So it will go only one time inside and it prints 0 always. Alright, so again, understanding it in better way, let me add a line here and let's say I do for I in range -6 and I say I print I. So nothing is being printed because the range starts from 0, and if you give it a negative number, it will not go inside it and it will not print anything. And let's see, is that the case? Let's print something else inside. Let's say print I am inside, print I am outside. So it's always outside. So it does not go into this for loop and it just returns 0 always. All right. But now, if I had changed only one thing, if I'm not worried about factorial, and if I had changed it to -1 here, then what would happen? If you had not given this -1, it would always return 0 because it is not going inside the for loop and it is just returning this product equals 0 directly in this line. So it will run, but it will give some valid output, right? It will give different outputs. So let's try that. Let's run this. Let's forget about this for now. And let's run this. It's still 0. So for this, let's try using help function. So help of range. This is also present in cheat sheet, and you can use this help function to get to know about any function or else data type, let's say list or strings or functions related to them. So you can use it in OPP whenever you are stuck. But whenever you are submitting the code, the final code, you have to remove all of these help lines because it will unnecessarily print the stuff which is not to be printed on the output terminal. So this is your range attribute, and it has count, index. So you have start, step, and stop. Data descriptors are defined here. So how do you use start, step, and stop here? Range. So here I have 3. So this is your start, this is your end or stop, and this is your step. Correct? So the 1 n minus 1 is n minus 1, n minus 2. We'll come to that. But first of all, here if it would be that way, then it has to return something, right? But it is returning 0 because 1 into 0 ho gaya, and it is returning 0. So now let's say I write the product equals 1 here, and now if I run this, it's still 0. Whereas I have saved this well enough. Now why is it returning 0? Whereas the product here is initialized as 1, and here it is returning 0. इसमें बीच में 0 आएगा. Correct. It is 1, then it will go in negative steps. So इसमें बीच में 0 आएगा. That's why it will always give the product 0. So now is this step part clear? -1, 1 or 2 steps. Okay, everyone clear with the step value? All right. So let's switch it back to normal function. And let's also keep this conditional check here also. So if I now give it any negative number, it will say please enter a non-negative integer. So let's say I enter 9 and here I enter 20. So it works well. All right. And this is the way you use help. Like for example, if you are manipulating strings and you have forgotten some functions of strings, then you can write help str, enter, and you will find this. Okay, so this is the complete manual where you can find the function. So there is s.count. How do you use it? Then you have encode. But think of, look, s.find. If you're finding a particular character in a particular string, then your format map, and how do you use it, that is also given here. So what is this? Again, this is to what type of data type. So if you use s.index, string.index, it will give you an integer as a return value. So whenever you use this function, it will give you the return type of integer. So it is not always that if you are using a function with string, it will always return a string. So when you are using string.index, it will return an integer. So now you are getting it. Why do we write in functions the arrow to a data type? So we are clear that what that function is returning, which type of data type. Okay. So this way you can use help. And again repeating, don't forget to remove this help lines whenever you are submitting your final code. Okay. So that is it. Maybe yeah, I'll cover exception handling also. So now exception handling is that you're trying something, and if you face any problem, then you will go to your except block. Okay, so here you'll be trying something, and if problem arises, go to except, and in except you print something. So this is one way. Coming back to cheat sheet, here you have exceptional handling present. So here it is the same type. Try code that may cause the exception, and then exception type you can give it. And what are the exception type? Errors, that is syntax error, type error, name error, index error. We'll write a simple function to use try and except, and also use this particular exception. So let's say I'm trying to divide a number. So let's say you have n equals int input and I say this is numerator for n and d for denominator. So numerator, denominator, and I say n divided by d, int n divided by d. And I say if I get this exception, which is 0 division error, then print that please enter denominator as a non-zero number. Okay. Okay, wait. Sorry. Wait, I'll repeat that. Wait a minute. Okay, let's forget about this. Let's do it again. So you have try and you have except block. Okay. And here you want to divide two numbers. So n being the numerator. Okay. And d being the denominator. And both of them are integers. Alright. D equals int of input denominator, and I print n divided by d, and I say if there is 0 division error, then print please enter a non-zero denominator. So this is one way. Now I say 1 and I say 0. So it has gone into this except block and it is throwing an error. And when does it go into this except block? Only when it gets this type of error. Now let's say I remove this, I have forgotten to change the data type of numerator to an integer and it is a string. Then this will also throw an error. Yes or no? Whenever I do n divided by d. Yes, thumbs up, thumbs down. Right? So let's enter this and I say 1 and I say 2. So now you have a type error. So if you do not want to specifically limit it to one error, what you can do is you can remove this error and you can print the exception. So what can be the exception? So you have to write here E, except E. And 1 minute, I've forgotten the syntax. If anyone knows about it, I've forgotten the syntax here. There is also one more way where you can specifically know that what type of error has raised and where it has raised. So 1 minute, I'll refer it and come back in few seconds. Just a minute. And what you can do in such cases, right? So usually you have your Python document. Let me share this tab. So you can find Python documentation, you can go into it, and then you can search for try and except block. Or else what you can directly do is Python documentation for try and except. Enter. And you will get Python try and except, maybe the official documentation or any publication. Let's say, for example, W3 schools. You can take anyone. So I'll take the documentation. And here you have a syntax error. So you can use exceptions. So here they have used a particular type of error. All right. In what all other cases can you use it? Yep. So here is it. So whatever exception you have, you can give it a value. So let's come back to, so this is the way. I'll just copy this, come back to my collab, share this tab instead, And all of you able to see the screen, right? Collab screen. Yeah. Okay. I'm printing this and I'll just comment this out and I'll use the same syntax. So accept exception as E, print type of E, print E, and print arguments of E. Alright, so now I'll try this and I'll remove this. So this syntax is clear, everyone? Any doubts in this? So whatever kind of exception you have, you are giving it a variable name. So you do not have to write this big keyword exception again and again. And you can just write an E. And I'll run this. And now let's say I enter 1, I enter 2. So now you have this type error and unsupported operand type for string and integer. Alright, so you can see this helps you understand the error better. Alright, and it will catch any error which arises in this try block. So now let's say I have int, I have converted it into correct data type and I will try dividing it by 0. So let's say 2 and 0. So now you have 0 division error, division by 0. Alright, clear with try and except. So this is exception handling and you can check the other exception errors from cheat sheet, which are this all. And other than that, you can follow the documentation or any other YouTube video. E.args. Okay, coming back to this tab, and so this E is printing your text. What is the error? And this E.arg will print all the arguments which it is returning. So it is not always necessary that is only division by 0. You can see there can be other arguments also. So for now, I won't complicate this, but you majorly need only this two. And if you write it in a better way, then I'll just comment this out and I can write it this way. E. And E also in curly braces. And if I run this 1, 0, so you have class 0 division error, division by 0. Similarly, if I had this, enter 1 and 0. So it will always follow the first error which it occurs. So here I had divided it by 0, but that would come after the division is made. So here the division is also not possible. That is why the first error is type error. Now sometimes it so happens that you have many errors in this code. You use this, you only have one type of error. You solve that error and now you give in the same inputs and you come with one more error. So this is one way. And if you did not want to, if you had to handle this error also, what you could do, you could write if d equals to 0, print, or else just, yeah, first we'll print something message. So please divide it with a non-zero denominator, and then I'll break out of this try block because I don't want to print this. So let's run this. Break is outside the loop. Why is it outside the loop? If d equals 0, this is, if I just comment out this line, what if I use continue? That is also not working. Just a minute, let me think about this. What can be the issue? Give me a minute. Okay, for now, let's just print it first. So, so this will print and also raise the error, because eventually you are going to this line. But I do not want to go to this line, and I want to go out of this try block. So I'll of course use break only. But break is not working. Why is it throwing error? I'm not sure why is it uh, acting this way, because I'm sure that this should work. What would happen in actual is, wait, let me try this in VS Code. I'll present that screen. Just a minute. Let me present my whole screen. And so after this is discussed, we'll end the session, okay? Yes, sir.
Can I ask my doubt as well?
Yes, sure, sure.
Okay. So doubt me, yeah. I just wanted to ask you if you know how to stop the live streaming. I guess you're aware of it.
Yeah, sure. No, I'll stop the live streaming after we are done with this.
Yeah, I'm just asking you.
Yeah,
You
I do
can,
know.
you know, right? So whenever you
Yes,
feel that it's the right time to stop the live streaming, you are free to do it. Fine.
sure, sure, sure.
So just to let you know, if in case you don't know, right? Anytime when you're going to press on the red button, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you will get,
No, I know this. I know this.
you know it, right? Yeah, exactly. Fine then,
This.
no issues.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, best wishes.
Yeah.
Great going, guys. Yeah, bye.
Thank you. Okay, currently it's not working, but okay. Let me just print it in other code cell. Probably. Okay, not working yet. Let's ask AI. Explain code. It is incorrectly placed here as there is no loop to break out of. Okay, so break. Okay, there is no loop here. Right. There is no loop here, so it will not be able to break out of, because it has already grown. Okay, someone has raised their. Yes, sir. 1 minute. Yes, sir. Yes, Karthik, sir.
हाँ लाइक सॉरी टू डिस्टर्ब यू इन द मिड सर मेरा दूसरा भी कुछ क्लास था सॉरी फॉर दैट फिर मेरे को जाना था ठीक है तो
Sure.
गाइस फ्यू इंस्ट्रक्शंस फ्रॉम माय साइड आर कि आज का जो डीपीपी है इफ यू आर फ्यू इश्यूज हुए थे अकर ठीक है इन हैकर रैंक आल्सो लाइक फर्स्टली यू हैव टू गो एंड इफ लैंग्वेज इज चेंज्ड तो मेक श्योर करना कि वहाँ पाइथन 3 या पाइथन 2 को आप लोग मेंशन करेंगे देन यू हैव टू राइट योर कोड लॉजिक एंड द थिंग्स फाइन Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So here break is not working because it is not inside any loop. All right. So yeah, correct. We cannot use it without loop, and there is no loop here. Correct. So it will not be able to break out of it. It won't be able to break out of this try block. So what you can do is you can say that let's take this under a loop. So if I had a loop here, let's say while true,
Your
and if I had,
screen is not shared.
sorry,
Your screen
The
is not
screen
shared.
is not shared.
okay, just a minute.
Also, can we not just use the raise block?
Yeah, you can use that, but just understanding break first. So break will only work when you have a loop to break out of. Here it won't break out of this try block. Okay. Hence I have like kept this entire try except block inside a loop. So now if I try running it and if I give it some numbers, it will run it well. Okay. So now it is not raising an exception because you have already handled it here. So it just prints this and it breaks out of the loop. All right. Clear? So break would not work if you do not have it inside it any loop. If you have a loop to break out of, then only it will work. All right. So that's it for today. I'll stop the live streaming. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Doubts. So I'll take